Hair is one of the first things people notice, and one of the quickest ways to take 10 years off your look without touching a drop of makeup. After 50, your hairstyle should do more than cover gray. It should frame your face, lift your energy, and tell the world you're still full of life. But here's the truth. Many women unknowingly stick to outdated cuts that age them more than time ever could. A bulky bob, a flat middle part, or a style that hides the forehead might feel safe, but it can actually drag down your features and make you look more tired than you feel. In this video, we'll show you 3 transformative hairstyles that instantly brighten your face, soften your features, and boost confidence. These styles don't try to make you look 25. They simply reveal the radiance that's already there. And the best part? You don't need a dramatic change, just a smarter one. Style 1. Face framing layers. Softening features. Creating a slimmer silhouette. There's something magical about layers, especially when they're cut to frame the face just right. Face framing layers are one of the most effective, low-effort ways to take years off your look. Why? Because they trick the eye into focusing on the structure of your face, not on sagging skin, wrinkles, or thinning hair. Instead of covering you up, they bring you forward. Many women over 50 stick to one-length cuts because they feel clean and easy. But here's the reality. Straight, heavy hair that falls in one curtain can actually drag the face downward. It creates sharp lines where we don't need them and makes features appear harsher, especially when paired with aging changes like loss of volume in the cheeks or a softening jawline. Face framing layers, on the other hand, bring movement, dimension, and lightness. They soften the jawline, skim past the cheekbones, and gently draw attention to the eyes. Whether your hair is shoulder length or longer, adding layers around the face adds youthfulness because it adds flow, and flow equals life. Let's talk about how this works visually. A woman with a long face can use chin-length layers to create width, which balances her proportions. A round face, layers that start just below the chin elongate the shape. Square jaw, layers that fall diagonally from temple to chin break up the boxy shape, giving softness. And it's not just about face shape, it's about texture too. If you have fine hair, short face framing layers add volume. If your hair is thick or tends to puff, layering removes bulk and gives a sense of movement. And if you're dealing with thinning at the temples or the crown, strategic layers can hide sparse areas while drawing attention to what's working. Your smile, your eyes, your energy. What makes this style even better? It's incredibly low maintenance. Unlike a full restyle, you don't need to redo your entire cut. Your stylist only needs to work the front sections, sometimes as little as the first 3 inches around the face. And it works whether you wear your hair straight, wavy, or even curly. One of the biggest fears women have about layers is that they'll look too trendy, too messy, or hard to manage. But modern face framing layers are subtle and elegant. They don't scream makeover. They whisper, "I see myself again." Here's a real-life example. Linda, 62, had been wearing the same shoulder-length blunt cut for nearly a decade. She thought it was safe, professional, and easy to maintain. But she constantly felt that her face looked tired in photos, especially around the jaw and under the eyes. After one visit to a stylist who added long, diagonal layers around her face, nothing dramatic, her entire look shifted. Suddenly, her eyes looked more open. Her jaw looked softer. Her hair moved when she walked, and so did she. What changed wasn't just her hairstyle, it was her attitude. She smiled more. She stopped apologizing for looking tired, because she didn't. That's the power of a well-placed layer. If you're hesitant, start with just 2 long layers, one grazing your cheekbone, the other near your collarbone. Let them move with your head and catch the light when you smile. You'll be surprised how often people will ask, "Did you do something different? You look amazing." The truth is, you don't need to hide your age. You just need to redirect the attention. And face framing layers are the soft spotlight that says, "Look at this radiant woman in her 50s, 60s, or 70s. She's still very much alive." Style 2. Volumized bob, lifting the face, restoring fullness. There's a reason why the bob has remained a classic across generations. It's adaptable, elegant, and incredibly effective at reshaping the way your face appears. But not all bobs are created equal, and for women over 50, the secret to a youthful bob lies in one word: volume. Let's be honest, aging naturally affects our face and hair. The cheeks may lose some fullness, the jawline softens, and hair tends to thin or flatten at the crown. A flat, sleek bob that hugs the skull may have looked sleek in your 30s, but now it can emphasize sagging skin, make the face look long or tired, and remove the softness you want to bring back. That's where the volumized bob steps in like a quiet revolution. This isn't about big hair or dramatic blowouts. A good volumized bob is strategic. It creates gentle lift at the roots, movement at the ends, and framing layers that give the illusion of a lifted jaw and fuller cheeks. Think of it as a subtle facial contour, but done with scissors instead of makeup. The volumized bob usually sits between the chin and the shoulders, with a slight curve inward at the ends. What makes it rejuvenating is its ability to add roundness where aging has taken it away. And roundness equals youth. Let's break it down. For women with thinning hair, this bob adds body, especially when blow-dried with a round brush or styled with a volumizing mousse. For those with a strong jawline that feels too prominent, the inward bend of the bob softens the lower face. For faces that feel tired or heavy, the bounce and structure of this bob visually lift the cheeks and define the neck. And here's the real beauty of it. It's easy to maintain. Unlike pixie cuts that require frequent shaping or long hair that demands hours of care, the volumized bob is the happy medium. It can be worn straight, slightly waved, or softly curled under. It suits women with graying hair just as much as those who still color. And it looks elegant at any occasion, professional, casual, or dressed up. One of the best examples: angled or graduated bobs, where the back is slightly shorter than the front. This small variation instantly gives a push upward to your facial structure. It creates movement without mess and precision without rigidity. Let's talk about real-life effect. Take Margaret, 58, who felt like her hair had given up on her. It was flat, thin at the top, and just hung limp around her face. She always wore it in a ponytail, thinking it looked tidier. But after switching to a softly layered, volumized bob, everything changed. Her friends thought she'd had a facelift. Her daughter said, "Mom, you look like you just took a deep breath for the first time in years." The shape of the bob lifted her energy, not just her appearance. And that's what this cut is about. It doesn't erase your age, but it reminds you, and everyone around you, that you're still in motion, still vibrant, still shaping who you are. Want to start simple? Ask your stylist for a bob that lands just below the chin, light inward layering at the ends, subtle lift at the crown using gentle stacking or blow-drying technique. Optional: a light side-swept fringe if you want softness around the forehead. Avoid harsh straight-across cuts or pin-straight styling. You want curves, not corners. You want softness, not strictness. Let the hair move when you smile, fall slightly forward when you tilt your head, and bounce back when you walk. That's how you carry not just a new style, but a new presence. Style 3, the asymmetrical shortcut, bold, free, and full of personality. Not every woman wants to blend in. Especially after 50, many of us finally feel ready to stop apologizing for who we are, and to let our inner spirit show. If there's one haircut that embodies that shift, it's the asymmetrical shortcut. This is the style that says, "I know myself now. I'm not trying to look younger. I'm just done hiding." So what exactly is an asymmetrical cut? It's a short hairstyle, usually above the shoulders, that has intentional imbalance. One side may be longer than the other. A fringe may fall diagonally across the forehead. The neckline might curve up on one side and fall lower on the other. It's not chaotic. It's artful rebellion. Why does this haircut work so well for women over 50? Because asymmetry draws the eye diagonally, not vertically. That means attention goes across your features instead of down. And when we age, the biggest challenge isn't wrinkles, it's droop. Skin softens, cheeks fall slightly, and features sink. The asymmetrical angles counteract that. They create movement, uplift, and edge. Visually, this kind of cut works like a facelift, without touching your skin. Let's take the story of Joanne, 64. She spent most of her life with shoulder-length hair, always told that shorter styles would age her. But she never felt fully herself until the day she walked into a salon and said, "Give me something bold." Her stylist gave her an asymmetrical pixie with longer pieces framing one side of her face. The change wasn't just in the mirror. It was in the way she walked, laughed, stood taller. "For once," she said, "my outside matches how alive I feel inside." That's the thing about an asymmetrical cut. It's not about chasing youth. It's about celebrating personality. And nothing is more youthful than a woman who feels free. Now, let's talk structure. Most asymmetrical cuts pair a longer front section, often sweeping across the cheek, with a shorter back or undercut for contrast, side part or deep fringe for dimension. Optional textured layers for movement. This works beautifully on women with oval, heart-shaped, or square faces. The diagonal lines soften strong features, break up any facial heaviness, and bring the focus back to the eyes and lips. And here's the twist. It also fights hair thinning. If your hair is getting sparse at the temples or crown, an asymmetrical shape adds visual weight exactly where you want it, around the face. Shorter sides also make fine hair look more intentional instead of lost. You don't need to go extreme either. Asymmetry can be as subtle as one side grazing the ear and the other side just a little longer. The goal isn't drama, it's balance with flair. This style pairs well with confidence. It looks fantastic with silver or salt and pepper hair. Add a pair of earrings, a swipe of lipstick, and you've got a statement that says, "I've lived, I've learned, and I'm just getting started." And best of all, it's easy to style. A quick blow dry, a little texturizing spray, maybe a flick of the flat iron, and you're out the door. No more fighting with curling brushes or bulky blowouts. This is hair that works with your life, not against it. Let's be clear, this cut isn't for everyone. It's for the woman who's ready to take up space again, to be seen, not just admired, to remind the world that beauty isn't symmetry, it's soul. And if you're even a little curious, that means it's calling you. You don't need a time machine to look younger. You just need a haircut that honors who you are today. Whether it's the soft elegance of face-framing layers, the youthful lift of a volumized bob, or the fearless charm of an asymmetrical cut, your hairstyle should reflect your energy, not your age. Each of these styles isn't about hiding time. It's about embracing it with style and confidence. Because true beauty after 50 doesn't come from trying to look like someone else. It comes from choosing, every day, to show up fully as yourself. You've earned every silver strand, every laugh line, every lesson. Now it's time to wear your hair and your story with pride.